Good evening, everyone. I'm just waiting for a few more people to come in, and then we're going to go ahead and start. For those who have been here for the previous two episodes, please note that if you hear screaming in the background, I have a parrot, and it's not her time to sleep as of yet, so there will be a little bit of screaming. And probably about halfway through, hopefully she will just die down with the noise. But until then, yeah. And if you would like to come up and say, leave your comments on anything that we're going to discuss tonight, I'm sure there is something on the agenda that quite a few people have comments about. You are more than welcome to come up. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in. Hello, good evening, Ria. All right. And good evening, Gail. And so, let's see. Here we are. I'm gonna go ahead and post the link, and then all you guys have to do is just click the link, and and then I can go ahead and bring you guys up, and you can leave your you can come up and comment on anything that we're speaking on tonight, or whatever you see going on in the community that you'd like to highlight. By all means, go ahead, because there's lots of things happening here in the city of Miami Gardens, and folks need to know what's happening in their community. Stay engaged, stay uh, um, informed on what's happening around you. Not only the agenda for May 14th, but also we just had Formula One and what's going on with Formula One, and how that's going to impact you in the next few years. Also, the local access pass. If you were unable to get it prior to Formula One, you absolutely can get it at any time. It's good for the 2024-2025 season. So um, I'm not that good at this StreamYard yet to do the double screens. Still working on it, so bear with me. But I have all of this information will be on the Instagram and Facebook pages, and for those who are on the WhatsApp, you get the same thing as well. And I think some text threads I may put them in there, but for the most part, everything that I'm going to talk about tonight will some are already on the Instagram page, and then the agenda, which I actually forgot to upload to the pages. I'm going to do that after this this show. So let's see. Mm, And I'll give it one more minute, and then we're just going to go ahead and start. So if you have any comments, go ahead and leave it in the chat. And, or if you want to come on up. And let's see what's going on here. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen so I can see um, what you guys are seeing, because I think I'm seeing a little bit, I'm seeing it on a different end. So it might be a little bit different for me. All right. So good evening, and thank you for tapping in Miami Gardens. My name is Chris Malcolm. I run the social media page called Miami Gardens Now. And for those who don't know about Miami Gardens Now is a page that's started because as a resident, I saw there were a lot of things happening here in the city. I wasn't aware of it, and when I asked a lot of people around me, they weren't aware of it. So, being the nosy person that I am, I decided I was going to find out the information and then let everyone around me know what I found out. And so that was the nexus of Miami Gardens Now. And I'll give you a little backstory on it. I actually didn't come up with the name. A friend of mine who I'm working with on another uh, page, his name is Keith. I don't know if he's on here tonight, but he actually came up with it because he's like, you're Miami Gardens and there are things happening now. So why don't you just call it Miami Gardens Now? So that's how Miami Gardens Now came to be. And so with that, there are quite a few things that are happening here in the city, specifically the agenda. Now, I post the agenda on my page maybe sometimes 2 or 3 days before, sometimes a little bit more, because it usually comes out the Thursday prior to the actual city council meeting, which is on the Wednesday following. And I realized that folks aren't really paying attention when I post the actual agenda, because I always get questions after a meeting happens. Hey, what happened? Hey, I didn't know about this. Hey, there's something da 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 da. And I'll give you a perfect example is the the speed zone. I posted about that last year, the agenda on my page. And now that the speed zone signs are up, folks are really up in arms about it. But there were two meetings last year that focused on that very thing. And so I decided I'm just going to go ahead and just run through the agenda. I'm not going to go through everything, but just to give you a heads up on the fact that you have the ability to connect with your council members, you have the ability to express yourselves in public comments, and you have the ability to talk to other people right here on this platform. And so, for those who've never been to a council meetings start, they're on Wednesdays, right? Usually every other Wednesday, unless there's a reason that they cancel it or whatever. But right now we have one coming up on the 14th of May. And the this agenda, when you take a look at the agenda, it comes out. Okay, so the agenda comes out the Thursday prior to. So it gives you an opportunity to read through the agenda, see what they're going to discuss, um, changes that are going to be made, where money's going to be used, switch, whatever the situation may be. Someone's trying to get a street naming uh, going on, or demolish a building of some sort. All of these things will be in the agenda depending on whatever whenever they put them in there. So this upcoming agenda has I think it's pretty much consent agenda items, which is basically when, from my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, those who know more than I do. But usually what consent agenda is, from my layman's understanding, is they just read through, the city clerk will read through the consent agenda items, which I think there are 9 on this upcoming um, meeting. And once he reads through them, if the council all agrees to it, it passes. That's it. That's all. Um, so, but that does not mean you cannot speak against it. And there's an item on this consent agenda, I mean, on this agenda right now, where I know there are going to be a lot of people speaking out, because there are people speaking out about it right now, today, yesterday, when it came out. And you can make a change. You absolutely can sway that consent agenda item for maybe that item to be withdrawn from the agenda, because the overwhelming amount of residents are against it for whatever reason. They're against that particular item or items on the agenda. And as you are, for those who've never been to a city council meeting, you get 2 minutes to speak on city council. I mean, on something, whatever you want to speak on, right? They give you a yellow card. You fill out the yellow card. Um, Hopefully by next week, I'll figure out how to put the video and everything up so I can show you exactly what is on the card. But essentially, you put what you're going to talk about. It could be the agenda item or whatever it is. Some people just put Miami Gardens because they may have a lot of things to say within their 2 minutes. And then you put your name, your address, and then you give it to the sergeant at arms. There's some other things on there, but just that's the short end of it. Once you get up there to speak, you have 2 minutes to speak. You then say your name and your address. There's a clock there now. Yay! I know. That's directly in front of you that shows you have 2 minutes to speak. You cannot say the name or address the council directly. You can say the council, but you cannot say, councilman so and so or councilwoman so and so. You cannot directly address them. So that's just a little short end of how that goes. It's best for you to always read the agenda before you get up there. I know sometimes things happen in life and you can't get to the agenda until the night of, but it's better to just look through the agenda and that before you get to the city so that you are well versed on what they're going to be talking about. And if there's something that you're for or against, you absolutely have the opportunity to say whatever it is that you're for or against. Hold on one second. I think somebody wants to come on up. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and invite you up. I think hopefully I get. Did I get you up? Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna add you to the stage, Miss Leslie. Hold on. Are you there? Yay! Okay. All right. Thank you for coming on up. Good evening. All right, I'm still working on it. Still getting there, little by little. But so that's essentially it with the you as a resident coming up there to speak on an agenda item or anything. It doesn't even have to be on that item. It could be about something that happened to you and that or you saw or whatever. That's essentially it. So we're gonna get right down to the crux of it. Uh and we're gonna start with agenda item 12.1. And again, I put the link in the chat. So if anyone wants to come on up, you are more than welcome to just click the link and I'll let you on up and then you can speak on whatever it is that you want to speak on. So the first agenda item, which is 12.1, it says a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens allocating an amount not to exceed $10,000 from Councilman Leon community benefit account to support ongoing initiatives. Now, the community the community benefits account is the Formula One money. Let's just call a thing a thing. That's what it is. But they call it the community benefit account. Now I know that at some point I don't understand the full end of it, but I will in terms of um each council gets $50,000. And I don't know if that's every year. So if someone could let me know if it's every year, quarter, I don't know how that works with the $50,000 because I'm sure there are some people that have gone way over that $50,000 at this point. So it's probably maybe per year, but don't quote me on it. I'm not sure. $10,000 for ongoing initiatives. What are the initiatives? This is one of the things that I want you to take a look at. When they say ongoing initiatives, what exactly does that mean? There's no explanation as to ongoing initiatives such as they're going to build a school, they're building a park, they're doing this. It's just a generalization of what he plans on doing with the money. And that's not good enough because Formula One money is a very specific amount, right? It's $5 million over 10 years. And in that motion, I think, and this is just my opinion, you can definitely differ from me if because everyone has their own opinion. But I think that each time monies are utilized from this account, it needs to be specified what they are going to do with the money because that's too broad of a statement for that kind of money from the amount of money that's given over the period of time that was given. All right. So that's on that. So if anyone has any thoughts on that, let me know. All right. So 12.2, which is the hotbed one, it says a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the renaming of Rolling Oaks Park to Senator Oscar Branyan the second park, providing for an adoption of representation. Now, I did not know the history of Roland Oaks Park. I still don't know the full history. I've gotten some of it in terms of it was the residents that were essentially behind this park. And because of all of the oak trees in that park, hence the name Rolling Oaks Park. And so there are a lot of residents who are just 2025 hot about this situation, that this park is potentially going to be renamed after someone who, from my understanding, he grew up in the community. However, growing up somewhere does not warrant you being named, a park being named after you. There are lots of people that grew up in lots of places and have done lots of things. That does not mean that it has to be named after said person. I don't know this gentleman. I have nothing against him. This is just an opinion of someone who's just reading the agenda, and it is what it is. On top of that, here's the deal. The city has a historic advisory committee with little to none activity because there are no people really on there, right? And so that, I think, should be a part when you're talking about a historic park, and the history behind the park and the connection behind that park with the people who live in that community, who are still there, who are part of that park being there to begin with. It's mind-boggling that no one from the city thought, hey, may want to go over there and talk to this very active community, right? Rolling Oaks, if you don't know, is a very active community when it comes to anything happening there, right? And in terms of the park as well. And they were very instrumental in a lot of things that are in the park right now, right? We have the putting greens that are there. That's in that park. I think that's the only park that has the putting green, right? So there's history there, and I think it's an affront to the community from listening to a lot of people, even today, who are up in arms about this. Here's where you can utilize your voice. You can write letters to your council members, you know, expressing how, your disdain for whatever it is in terms of this situation. You can show up to the council meeting on Wednesday and do exactly the same thing during your 2 minutes, expressing your thoughts about it, for or against it. But in this case, I have yet to hear anyone who's actually for this 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 renaming, right? And you can speak to your community, right? There are lots of people who don't know that this is happening. Everyone doesn't pay any attention to everything. Again, people have things going on in their life, so they don't always catch things. So it's good that when you guys are here tonight. I know there are tons of people who are on here who are consistently active in the community anyway, and expressing, and sharing this information. Continue to share. That's how we all know what's going on in the community, because I've said it before, and I've said it to the city, so this is not something new that anyone's ever heard me say, is that they don't communicate with the community. They just don't. They communicate, but it's not at the level what it could be, right? It could be it could be more than. And it's not something extra, but it's how you communicate with people. It's how you get that information out. It's how you tell the story, right? The story of, we have Formula One, which I'll talk about that in a second, but we have Formula One, but we have all these parking lots in the city that no one tells you that they're happening in the city. And now you don't know anything about this local access pass that could help you get to and fro in the city. Those are simple things that can be taught to or told to the community on a consistent basis, right? Because this local access pass is for 1 year. So you don't have to just talk about it when there's an event. Talk about it when there's not an event. That way you're not running out of passes because that's what happens. I think the last week when I did the video, um, I was told that they ran out of passes, and the city hall is not open on Fridays. For those who don't know, city hall is open Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So that is one of those things that you have the ability to um uh speak on, right? To what name? All right, good evening, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for coming in. Hit the like button as you do. It helps me in the algorithm. I know I'm like small channel, but I'm just trying to get in there and and then put the information out there. If anyone wants to come up and speak on anything, you can go ahead and click the link. I think I have it here. I'll just put it here again. Yeah, you can click the link and come on up and speak on anything that you would like, and express anything about whatever. All right, so we're going to the second agenda. The third item on the agenda, which is a resolution of the City of Miami Gardens allocating $400 nunc pro tunc from Councilwoman Linda Julian's community benefits account to support Monsignor Edward Pace High School football team, providing for the adoption of representation. Now, nunc pro tunc is definitely a word I heard, I think maybe during the Juneteenth event. I had never heard of that word, didn't know what the heck it was, and had to look it up. Essentially, it's Latin for now, for then. So basically, they do the event now, and then they pay for it on the back end. And they're doing this with community uh benefits fund, which is what the Formula One money. That should not be. You should be upfront in what you're doing with those money, because that just says a lot about how you're planning what you're doing. This is not specific to anyone because they've all done it, I've seen. Can't speak for the new council members, but definitely the ones who've been there prior to the two new ones. They've done it, and they're continuing to do it. And I think there needs to be some sort of, um, I don't know, there's some standards or something. There's something lacking in it. But yeah, that's one of those things that it just makes you go, hmm. And lastly, I'll go over just Councilwoman Michelle Powell's community benefit account. This is agenda item 12.4. She's allocating money of $2,000 for a Father's Day wellness event. And you have another one that's 12.5, an excellent models of 5,000 role models of excellence project, recognizing the program's impact on young men at risk, recognizing school-based chapters. And so there's just a resolution on that one. So these are just a couple of the agenda items. There's only 9 of them on this particular one, but I just wanted to just highlight uh, the definitely the second one for sure, because I saw there was a lot of conversation about that one. Again, if you guys you want to come on up, say something and about it, great. If not, you can always say something in the chat as well. You don't have to come up. You don't feel like it. Just come on and write something in the chat about it. Does the same thing because we're engaging and we're getting that information out. Um, so the Miami Gardens, well, I'll start here. Last week it was noted, the day of, I think it was the last day of Formula One, right? So Sunday it was noted that, breaking news, Formula One will be extended for an additional 10 years. 10 more years. I don't know how many people in the city were aware of it, but I can tell you there are a lot of residents that were shocked that this was extended, right? And at this early in the game, so to speak, right? We're only what, 3 years, I think, into Formula One, 3 or 4 years into Formula One. And there's again no conversation in the community, with the community, about this, because the community is still reeling from traffic woes that have happened during this past Formula One. And I'll give you an example of one. When I spoke to Councilman Stevens on Tuesday at his Tuesday talk at the Starbucks, one of the things I noticed, that you had residents who live in the Lake Lucerne area who don't drive, right? They don't drive. So there's no need for them to have a residence access pass hanging from their window of a car they don't have. And they are taking Uber, Lyft, or a taxi for that matter. When they get up to, when the driver gets to the entrance of Lake Lucerne, because Lake Lucerne has one way in, one way out, they were told to go to Calder Racetrack and get out there. That is a problem. That is a problem that I don't know if some of you are aware of that, but that's a problem for the community because you're now only looking at people who drive. There are people who don't drive, but they use share rides to get home. And now because these people just happen to live in the front, right? In the apartments in the front. But you have people that live way in the back. For the officer to then tell them to get out on 27th Avenue on 207, and they may live way in the back, is problematic. And so what I suggested to the councilman is maybe have like a card of some sort that's uh, 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 similar to this, but a card, so that people who don't drive have a card, and a valid card that says, "Look, I live here." I mean, you have a driver's license or uh, what do you call it? A state ID. That should be okay. But for whatever reason, these officers are just not understanding. They don't care. They don't know. Um, that's a problem. So that's one of the things that I noted to the councilman, that maybe there's a way to to address this for people who don't drive. Maybe the person was disabled. You're going to tell the person who's disabled to get out of Calder and then roll themselves, or walk, or however they have to do what they have to do to get to the back because they don't have a car and they're in an Uber. That's a problem. So you have that. You have Formula One going 2041. You have the parking lots in the community during Formula One, which, if you haven't seen, I've posted them on my page. I've been doing it since the first year of Formula One, so that residents are aware of the parking lots that are embedded in the community. I don't post the actual parking lot of the stadium. I'm only posting what's in the community, the park next door, or the elementary school that's now a parking lot, or that empty lot that no one ever uses, that just became a parking lot, or those 35 acres that we thought was on the verge of being, starting the construction for the city center, which has yet to happen. It then turns back into what? A parking lot again. And so I asked the councilman about that, and he said it's possible that the that lot will be used for parking, possibly for the upcoming next month Copa World Cup, Copa Club Cup games, which starts on June 14th. Okay, so you need to know these things. Some of those games next month are in the afternoon. Now, while it may be summertime and maybe summer schools will not be um open at that time, or school be out at that time, it does not matter if you are a working person and you have to drive in that traffic, because if a game starts at 3 o'clock, folks are not getting here at 3, they're getting here at 12 or 9 or 8. So all of those things matter, and communication matters in the community. And next, oh, how do you tap in? Just click the link, the link above. Just click where it says, the one that I have above your name, where it says StreamYard. Click that, and then I'll be able to, once you click that, I'll be able to bring you up, and then you can say. So in the meantime, I'm gonna say good evening, Karen. Let's see. Let me start from the top. Hold on. Let's see. Ree, Gail, Leslie, Olive, Lynette. Who's this? Miss Hughes. I think it's Alexandra, Karen, Kendall, What is it? Council meetings held on the second. I'll put this up here. Second and fourth Wednesdays of the month. Yes, and put that up there. Yeah, Kendall. Good evening, everyone. It's Josette. Oh, okay. Hi. To what name? I'm not sure what that question is. Brenda. Hey, Brenda. Poor planning. Yep. And let's see what this is. Yeah, show on stage. You like to hear any questions on about 12.2? So, were you able to get in? It should be yeah, just click the link and then I should be able to see you. If not, you can just type your questions in the thing. Hey, Keith. And so that is Keith right there. He's the one that let's see. Let's see. This is Lynette at stage. All right. Hello.
Did I make it? I'm experimenting. I'm like
Yes, you
Gail.
made
Ah!
it. You made it. Hold on. Add one more person to the stage. Who's this?
Yeah,
This is
Gail is having
Carla.
a problem. Help Gail. I see she
Um,
has many questions there. Gail.
I don't. I only see where it says how do I tap in. Is there something else I can't see it?
Oh, she said it twice, I think. She said
Okay.
something twice about getting in.
Yeah, just click the link. Just click the link and you should be and then once you click it I'll see you and then I'll just click you up. And
Mm-hmm.
then you're able to. Hi Carla, how are you? Let me see. Probably on mute.
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, okay. So do you guys have any questions or thoughts about anything?
This is Carla.
Yeah.
Um, this Formula One. I know we don't like Formula One, but what can we do? I mean, that's not our stadium. So what can we do about it?
In terms of what? What do you mean? Like
I mean,
what can
I mean, we don't like it here, and I'll say for 10 more years. So can we do anything to stop it? Obviously not. So why we keep complaining about it? I'm just
Well,
asking.
it's not. I don't think it's really a complaint, but I think that we have to look at, for instance, the $5 million that's currently with the $5 million that currently under the memorandum of understanding for these first 10 years. Is the city going to do anything? Like, are they gonna be in talks to maybe get more money for the next 10 years? That's a question to ask, right? Because we have to deal with these things. Also, while it's not a city event, that's not a city thing, right? But it's in the city.
Mhm.
So I think it's important that people would ask these questions because they're not telling you as a resident where these parking lots are located in the city. If you live, and I was there on Sunday at Norland Middle School, and I saw the traffic. And even when I took the trolley over there to get off the trolley, there was a yellow tape in front of the bus stop. I'm
Mhm.
someone that can walk. If you're a disabled person, how would you get off that bus? Because even I had to say to the guy, I was like, "Oh, why? Well, this is not good. This is kind of a weird place to have this tape." I understood why he did it because he was trying to corral the traffic so that there wouldn't be an issue with traffic. However, in doing so, you now impede the person who uses the bus or the trolley to get off. So those little things matter because if you live behind a school and you're back there, and especially if you're between Norland Middle and Norwood Middle School, I mean elementary school, you got schools
Cool.
behind you in the front of you. That's a lot of traffic on 12th Avenue, and you
Mhm.
need to know how to maneuver, and you at least need to be aware that there's a parking lot that's going to be there. I mean, I think that's just common courtesy because I live near Betty T in Brentwood and close to Risco Park, which was a parking lot. that was a parking lot that I'm sure there were people who live by Risco Park were not expecting that to be a parking lot. Maybe they were. I don't know. But it's just I think it's just a communication thing with the community. We can't we it's here, right? And it came, but just communicate with the community that hey, this is happening and here's what we're doing and we are going to let you know X, Y, and Z. That's it. I that's just, my opinion, but
Yes. Carla, I want to tell you that yes, we cannot change what has happened. I've been at the INSEP. I've been one of them on the street that picketed. And obviously we did not win. So we've more or less adjusted to these situations when they have events, not even just Formula One, because I'm one of the people in Lake Lucerne. And I know other areas. I hear Karen, they always talk about right there, what problems and wherever else. The thing about it is communication, communication, and the residents are. Everybody keeps saying, include the council people. They have a seat at the table. My thing with that seat at the table, I don't know what they're doing at the table because obviously they're not speaking up for us. We voted them in there. And they're not speaking up for us. I don't know what they're getting out of it. I don't want to make assumptions, but we need for them to make all these adjustments in reference to the parking. I don't drive, but that's an issue. When I got to go to Walmart's to get my meds, I try to plan it ahead when I hear about the game. But if there's like an emergent thing that comes up, or I'm going to my doctor, unfortunately, I have to go that way and that route with the access to ride. And so it creates a whole problem. And it's not just me. And my neighbors, they keep coming to me because they really don't come to the meeting. They're like, oh, you know what happened yesterday? And this and that. So I know it it's the communication. And I would see now like the Formula One just finished. I want to see if they're gonna come and ask the residents anything. Like Chris would always say, they don't even make like well, what happened, what didn't work, what worked, let's improve it next time for something. That I don't see that happening. And that becomes frustrating for the residents. And I'm one of those that not gonna sit and bear it because I'm gonna be up at City Hall talking the whole time.
Something like a survey after each event, I guess, would be good.
yeah, like
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, a debriefing. Like just get a
Yes,
debriefing
that's the
because
word. That's the word.
if you I don't, we all live wherever we live in Miami Gardens, and you may have a certain issue like Miss Lynette has an issue at Lake Lucerne. I didn't have that issue. I don't live over there, so I don't have that issue. However, I may have seen what I did see, however, is I'll tell you what, over there by 14th and Northwest 199th Street after
Mhm.
that Copa debacle, I saw so many police officers as I walked around to and this by Norwood Elementary. There were four police officers on that corner, making sure that people got, and these are, I think, Miami-Dade police officers, making sure that everyone went back and forth and no problems were there. Why? Because when Copa happened, the residents were the ones that were doing what? Directing traffic. And that was a problem. And so when residents then said, "Hey, listen, we had this issue," and like
Yeah.
no one came and no one said anything because everyone was so concerned that during Copa, what happened at the stadium, and no one asked the residents how they were impacted. Then the residents now have all this video saying, "Look, people were in our yards, people were here, we had to deal with the traffic."
Mhm.
Now I saw at this Formula One, I saw cops at every corner, right there on 14th and 199th Street. I said, "Oh, wow, that was what." because residents said something, they heard,
Mhm.
that's part of the debriefing that I think is lacking when we have these big scale events. That's it. I mean, like I said, we can't stop anything. Um, these events are going on, but we absolutely can say something if it's impacting how you move in your daily life of here. And if that was a perfect example of something was said because no one addressed it, but then the residents spoke out and said, no, 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 this happened here, and here's what we mean, and here's the video to show you and prove that this actually did happen. And that was a big. I was surprised. I know. I don't know if Karen's still on here, but she's right over there in that area. So I don't know how that impacted her getting to and fro, or anyone else in that matter who lives in that area. They can speak on that because they had to deal with that for the past 3 days. Yeah.
And I know there was a concern about 199th Street was shut off for this Formula One also, and that was never shut off before. 199.
Um. During the 6 to 9, I think.
Okay,
Probably, I think it was. I think they were letting out. I think they were getting out. I think the I think the races stopped at like 6 or 7, but then I saw someone say that they have the stadium open for an additional hour after. So that's probably why it was from 6 to 9. Because I was asking that question. I was just like, wait, do this last year? I wasn't sure, but I was just asking because I didn't remember or not.
but
You
I saw.
guys are having issues?
Okay.
I don't-
Uh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I saw your post about the 199th Street. That's why I asked that question.
199th Street.
You know, but the 199th Street going toward 27th Avenue from from Betty T. You could
Oh, that was okay. So that wasn't on 199. That was actually on 196 behind Betty T. And that was because of the clean zone that was on the agenda, the prior agenda that was brought forth by Councilman Leon.
Mhm.
but
And so
going
yeah, go
east,
ahead.
going east, leaving Betty T, going
Yeah.
east, and you come into that light on 27th Avenue. There was like seemed like you couldn't get across.
Mhm. Is it
Oh.
You know,
name?
I mean, but the store is that service station. I don't know how you say this. When you're leaving Betty T,
Yeah.
got a light, and then that next corner, you couldn't pass that next corner going straight. You had to turn right.
Mm.
Mhm.
You know, man,
Mhm.
was I, 'cause I was involved in that mess.
What time was that?
My at like after 5, because my daughter was in tutoring in Fort Lauderdale at 4, and then
Mm.
she lived over in some apartment over there on the other side of Betty T.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Oh.
I
So
guess I
that's
got
something.
what I'm talking about. But they had like a
Oh.
strip up there. The cop was standing there. They couldn't go forward. You had to go down that corner, that street,
Mhm. Mhm.
like behind like Aldi's on that side of Aldi's.
Oh, Cherry Bay area.
I don't know what areas are called, but I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Um. Well, that's one of the things. I know there was definitely talks about that particular shopping center because folks got cut off in terms of trying to get in there and the traffic situation. I know they said they were going to try to make a lane for residents of some sort. I don't know how that worked out. I didn't drive in that particular area. Hmm. That's something we can definitely bring up during Meet Me Monday
Yeah,
for
I don't live
sure.
in that area. I don't live over there, but my grandkids live in that area over there.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why I was happened to be over there.
Mm.
Mhm.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's something for sure. um to definitely bring up
So
because
I'll
that
get,
all
I'll
these
get
things matter though.
I'll get the exact street numbers and have it at the meet me Monday meeting.
Yeah, because these things matter because they don't know because
Right.
again when they the first and they're doing the clean zone. The clean zone initially was what 27th Avenue, and then it now extended to 32nd Avenue, which then that's why I did that video, which includes now Betty T. Ferguson because during any event, they're usually the pedicabs, the what do you call it, pedicabs or golf carts or whatever. They're usually parked back there. The problem is there is a sign that says, and there's several signs around Betty T, not even just around that area. You have on 32nd Avenue, those signs are up. This is no parking during stadium events. And so they're conducting business and parking back there on
Mhm.
that side of Betty T. Now they could park across where Leslie Estate is. They absolutely can park there. There's nothing stopping them from parking over there. But where Betty T is, they're not supposed to park there. And so the first day, which was Friday, and I was walking, I saw about five guys, pull up with their pedicabs and whatever. And I thought, oh, great, look at this. Well, I don't know what happened when I came back, but they were all gone. And for the next 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, not a pedicab in sight. Not one back there. I've been talking about this for at least a good 2 years. And I'm not just talking about this event. I'm talking about Rolling Loud, like whatever. Why are they back here? They're not supposed to be back here. You wouldn't allow they wouldn't allow this if this was like Pinecrest or some
Mhm.
other area. Why should we have to deal with this over here? Your business is over there. They like someone had said it, I don't remember what meeting or where I heard it, but someone said, they should be where the parking lots are. If you have an area at Betty
Mhm.
T, then they should be in Betty T to pick up the people from Betty T and then move them accordingly. They shouldn't be out in the area because if I have a party and I live in Leslie Estate and I want to park across the street, have my people who come to my party park across the street or park on the street. I can't do that if all the street parking is filled up with people who are going to the stadium. That's not right. That's
Mhm.
what you have all those 15 parking lots for. Pick one, or park in someone's house or yard or something like that. So, I'm trying to see. Betty wants to know what's the rationale for 12.2 and wants to know if it would be appropriate to reach out to former state Senator Brennan, being that the park has oak trees. I don't know. that that I don't know. I mean, if you feel inclined to do so, you absolutely can. Um, I'm not here to tell anyone to or not to do. You absolutely can. I don't
I
know why you guys. Oh wait, here's someone. Hold on. Well,
I
Karen's able. This is Karen. Hold on one second. Let me bring up Karen. I don't
Yeah.
know why
Why
you ladies
doesn't
are
Gail
unable to get
able to
up.
get on?
I have no idea.
Hello.
I don't know. Someone with who's that?
Can you hear
Karen?
me?
I
Yes.
can hear you.
I'm at the hospital, so it's a little um, noisy. However, I think we all accepted that they inked the deal with Formula One. I think the community was a little, uh, I don't want to say dismayed, but just felt undercut in the amount that we were given $5 million over the 10-year period when they're raking in over $1 billion a year. And so we thought that if they had an opportunity to to renegotiate at some point, that they use that opportunity to bring home more bacon for the community if we have to live with it. And I spoke with some of the business people and along 441, and their clients were having to reschedule, and their businesses are impacted. And so some of those funds, I hope I don't lose you all. I'm getting in the elevator.
Oh, weird.
Um, for some of those funds could be used to give a scholarship, honorary.
She's on. She's on the
We
elevator.
lost you, Karen.
Yeah, she on the
Can you hear me?
elevator.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you.
Okay, I'm off the elevator now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go
Yes.
ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, and we're going this way. Um, so it's unfortunate if they didn't have a chance to renegotiate, and we don't know if they did or they didn't because we don't even know if they had a seat at the table. And we're not unlike Miami Beach where they have that um, pull and push with events and things like that with the residents versus the business people and what have you. But you have to strike a balance. Key West has that same issue, but they do at least listen to the residents and allow them to have a say. That doesn't mean that they're going to vote your way, but at least residents feel more confident and comfortable if they're at least heard. And so that has been some of the angst I think a lot of residents have is that we have all these concerns, like what Lynette said. Had you spoken with the residents up front, they would have told you people take Uber and the bus, and that didn't have to be an issue. And so there's so many things that could be avoided if if there was just a forum, an opportunity. Okay, we've done this how many years? Let's bring the residents in and say, okay, where can we make improvements or tweak this or tweak that? Because you guys are the boots on the ground. You're living this. What can we do? But we don't get that.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly on everything you just said because again, no one if you're not talking to the people who have to deal with it, then you don't know what's going on. You're just
Exactly.
dealing with what the people who are here for the 2 or 3 days, that's the concern is okay, how do we deal with them instead of the people who actually live and have to maneuver and even people who work here.
Yeah.
Right? You have business people. How do they maneuver with their employees to get to and fro? And when I posted this thing about the local access, someone actually came on the page and said, "Hey, why is it only for residents? Why don't they have one for businesses?" I said, "Listen, I work at two jobs in the city of Miami Gardens. So, well, listen, you need to talk to your boss and maybe talk to the city, and the city will talk to the stadium. I don't know logistically how they do what they do, but that would be I see nothing wrong with that. I see, they may need a different color to show that this is a business and these are residents, so you have two different passes going on there, something like that. I don't know. Um, yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
that's how it's moving with the Formula One situation, ladies. I don't know what's going on with the links. I don't know. Did you guys click in to try typing in YouTube .com/ at Miami Gardens now. Maybe try that and come in that way. I'm not sure why you guys are unable to click on the link because
Well,
hmm
my son only the untechy person I am. I'm
yeah.
actually on the phone because when I tried doing it on my tablet, which I'm more comfortable with, he says that I'm not registered in the YouTube in there, whatever that means. So he's put me on the
Oh,
phone. I don't know what else to say. I really don't even know what that means. I just know that's
oh,
how I got in. So
oh,
maybe
oh.
something with that. Maybe you
Oh,
need to register. That's what he told me. He's gone now, so I don't know to ask him what that means.
oh, meaning you have to have a Google page, but I think
Some register something he said you don't he said to me you don't have a YouTube register. That's why I couldn't go into my tablet. That's all he said
Oh,
to me. And then he took the phone and he put me on there. I don't know what he did.
oh, okay.
So
Well,
maybe that's the issue. I don't know. Because I can't
oh,
explain it myself.
I clicked on the link and they told me to put it in my browser. So I put it in my browser and then it came out for my phone.
okay.
Oh, okay.
So, you guys, if you heard that, so maybe that's a way of you guys getting up. I'm not sure. Try one of those and see if that works for you. I'm not sure. Miss Pat, are you trying to get up too? If so, try the link and see if that works. I don't know. That's an interesting one. Well, in the meantime, we'll talk about the street naming ceremony that took place today for Joanne Cox Roll, who was a resident here in the city of Miami Gardens, and she was also one of the catalysts for bu- um, the building of Bunch Park. And so this year, had she lived, she would have been 100 years old. I know Miss Connie Roll Taylor, her daughter, she'd been trying to get a street named after her for quite some time. And this was the year that it finally came through. And it was a nice ceremony. Her home is right across the street from the park. And so the name Joanne Cox Roll Boulevard is right in front of her home. Well, it's right beside the park, but right in front of her home to pay homage to her and what
Mm,
she did for the community. So it was really nice. That was the second one in the past 2 weeks. The other one was Bessie B. Stringfield, um, and that was a nice one as well.
mm,
So also, this is Historic Preservation Month for those who don't know, and we do have quite a few areas in the city of Miami Gardens that may be historically preserved under the county or the state, and some that are not. And it's um, in this moment where you see that the situation with Rolling Oaks Park is a perfect example of historic preservation, that folks don't want to change anything and leave it the way it was for the history of the area and the people that still live in the area who are part of that, as well as on the other side of the turnpike and behind the senior center, you have the Enrico farmhouse, which actually turns 100 years old this year as well. It is the oldest home in the city of Miami Gardens. uh we're currently trying to preserve that home, and it's important that it stays that way. I know there's a focus on all things black in the city of Miami Gardens, but we have to remember that this area, when it was prior to it being Miami Gardens, it was an area, Northern Dade, if you will, that was not for uh, African Americans or people in the African diaspora, right? And so this particular home was they owned a lot of land. The two homes across the street at the Seventh Day Adventist Church, that's on their property. That those homes were a part of the Enrico farmhouse. They're still standing. I don't know how old those homes were. I believe that the daughter and the son lived in those homes respectively. And so the Enrico, they're from Italy. They were from Italy, and they moved there with the Jersey cows. They, from what I was told today, that was the only farm um, for some, you know, for the area that's there. I think all the way to Golden Glades, if you will, and Seventh Avenue. That was the only farm where anyone, black or white, could get milk, and so they're very instrumental in the farming, the milk industry, and so we definitely want to preserve it. And that farmhouse is one of two structures in the city of Miami Gardens that's designated as historically preserved. The second one is, well, really is the first one that got preserved, but the Sunshine State Arch. If you were not there this week or Monday, the arch was, I don't know if it was renamed technically or if it was named in recognition of um, Commissioner Oliver Gilbert. And at the bottom on the, I guess it would be the east side of that arch, there's a huge sign that says, in Miami Gardens. I don't know if it lights up. If anyone passes by there, has passed by there and seen that, did that, I forgot to ask really, if that lights up at night. I would think it would. It wouldn't make any sense if it didn't, but hey, what do I know? But it has a big Miami Garden when you're driving underneath the Palmetto, and you come across it right on the left hand side. And I thought, well, that's nice. It's recognizing Oliver Gilbert. I'm not sure if it's technically named after Oliver Gilbert or if it was just a recognition of him. So there you go. Again, that is another area, as well as Bunch Park. Bunch Park is a historic area on its own. It should have been recognized this year. I think it was the 75th anniversary of Bunch Park, if I'm not mistaken, of its inception. And so, again, these are areas in this city that I'm going to highlight maybe this week or next, but definitely before the month is over, just so that residents know that these areas are here. Also, the Chittohatchee Park. I know there's some people here that went to the park with me about
Mhm.
2 years ago, I think it was, and we went
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
that park. Right. And so we went inside that park, and that's actually the highest point in the city is that park, and that park is between the lots 18 and 17 over there at the Hard Rock Stadium. It's just this little park in the middle of the parking lot itself, and there's a lot of history there connected to the Miami Circle as well as the the Snake Creek Trail because canal because Chitto means snake and Hatchie means trail. Chittohatchee. So that's the name of that part. The contract needs to be renegotiated. Uh, I don't know why you guys are unable to get up. I'm at a loss for that. Uh, hmm. I don't know. All right. Well, let me take a look and see what's going on in the chat here. It says Miss
Look like
Garland
Miss
can't
Pat
get me
needs to
in.
get in.
Yeah, but I can't. I don't see anyone outside of you and Miss Carla. I don't see anyone else um that clicked the link. So all I see, hmm, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a test run in another day or something and see what it is. Is there anyone who could speak about? Oh, okay. Oh, I think it's up there. Oh, okay. Let me bring it back down.
I
The
writing.
contract needs to be renegotiated for the funds to the city since the stadium rules the city. The additional funds could help our community, seniors, the homeless, and babies. I agree. I agree. Yeah. Is there anyone? Let me bring this up. I can't see it up here. Is there anyone who could speak about? Uh, I would, but I can't get on reference 12.2. Lynette has spoken. Did you speak on that, Miss Lynette, about 12.2?
No, I briefly, but I did at the park. It's not here. The only thing that I was gonna, mention is what I learned from Betty today, and I think you mentioned it already. The history, and I strongly feel that that park should not be renamed. Just the fact that the history of the naming of it, the reason why it was named Rolling Oaks, because of the oak trees. And I think it was Gail or someone in UPAC said it's over 100 or something trees. I think your phone had went south, but I some it's a humongous number of all these oak trees that are there. That's how important that is. So you gotta get the boots on the ground for that.
Um, yeah.
That's something that we have to do.
So, do
'Cause
you have anything else that you have on your mind that you want to talk about?
who,
Outside of anything that I brought up, I don't know if there's something I missed. Um,
who me?
yeah, you, yeah,
I talk
you
a
or Miss
whole
Carla.
damn lot all day long. I can't-
No, I'm saying you or Miss Carla, whoever. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know if you guys, because otherwise, yeah, I think we're pretty much
yeah,
um
really.
done here. But like again, the city council meeting is on Wednesday. You don't
Yes.
have to wait until Wednesday to express your thoughts and feelings about anything, specifically 12.2. You can go to uh, your email and use it and email these folks that represent
Mhm.
you, your council members, right? You
Yep.
absolutely can do that. You can also uh, go to the city council for public comments, speak in person. If you can't do that, you can always send a comment or yeah, comment to the city clerk. Where is it? I think the deadline is what, 3 o'clock or something? My thing just
Three
clicked on.
o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Was it 3 o'clock? Yeah.
Do it
So you
early
have
than that. Do it at the middle of the night. You'll get it anyway.
so you
Christine,
can, yes.
I don't. I've never heard them read any comments from people who might have signed for comments online. I just hear the people that at the meeting talk. I never hear them say that this came from offline from somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they stopped that. They used to do it during COVID and then they stopped. What are we in?
So you have to be in person to make a comment. That's my main question, I guess.
Well, if you want it heard on the record
Hmm.
on that time, yeah. But you don't. But technically, you can email the clerk and he'll say, okay, I received your comments or whatever, and then they put it. Um,
Yeah,
they,
and the
they
mayor
won't read it.
usually asks
They won't
if
read it
there's
though.
any written ones. They won't call your name and said, I heard Lynette and this and that.
Yeah,
But they said it's sent to the respective uh council people. That's the story. And I know that Gail, I know she had able to talk. Gail said always get a verification of that they made a record of it and he received it. I heard Gail say that many times, so I
yeah,
keep that in mind.
yeah. They don't. I'm not sure why they wouldn't do it because it's not like it's a whole lot of people. I don't think. I
Hmm.
don't know, but it could be a lot of people too, for all I know. But they just don't. I know. I know when they were doing the the ribbon cut. No, the groundbreaking for Rolling Oak Park. That's when I found out because I had sent I think my public comment twice at two different
Hmm.
um me city council meeting. I never got a response. I never got anything, and I didn't know. I was like, "Well, they're not responding." I was told, like, "Look, they're not reading these anymore." And I said, "Oh, okay, fine." Then I'll
Hmm.
go to the city council and I'll read it out loud. So
Yeah.
that's what I did, and that was actually my first time going to city council to read anything out. Well, read my public comment out loud because I wanted people to hear it.
Hmm.
That's the only caveat with when you write it is that unfortunately people are not able to hear it out loud, live when everyone else is there at city council. It doesn't negate you doing it. You absolutely can do it if that's what you can do and in the time frame, do it as long as you get your point across. Because I think the last no previous city council meeting, I wrote to all of the council members about an item regarding the $2,500 that's going to um, from the what do you call it, the science fair fund that was going
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
somewhere else, and I was like, why are you spending this money? So I wrote to all of them directly. Wasn't a public comment, but I wrote to the council members to say, hey, I don't think this is what it should be. And that was a consent agenda item, so it is what it is. Um,
Because my question, because Katrina Wilson, Councilwoman Wilson, was
yeah,
saying that only a few people were against third term. But if people are writing in, also complaining, that should have been count. That should count also. Is what I'm trying to say.
Got a point there.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
if those are talking, but stuff is coming in online, that should count toward something. I would think.
Yeah.
But I agree, but like that's such a subjective thing because when you say, oh, I'm not you, but I'm saying you, oh, all these people are, this and that. Okay, well, show us, you know, that it's that situation that took place on March 26th was just eye opening for a lot of people that have never been to our meeting. Um, and I'd like to know what's going on with the moving forward. I'll put it that way. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna leave it like
I
we,
feel,
we gonna
I feel, I feel,
we just gonna leave it like
uh
that because it's just one of those things where you complain about things that are happening or not happening, but you're not showing anything. You're
Yeah.
technically not showing anything. You're just saying that all of these people, all you folks that are coming there with your t-shirts and your boots on the ground situation, and there's 30, 40 people. Okay, why are you keeping count of how many people are showing up? But then the amount of people that are not technically showing up on
but are
the other
complain,
side,
but are still complaining. But are still complaining.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
technically, folks are there. They're well within their rights to wear what they're wearing. I don't see anyone wearing anything offensive. I mean, there's some boots on there. You may not like the color of the boots, but hey, it is what it is. They say vote. That's their whatever they want to do. She doesn't like it. You don't have to like it. That's why it's an opinion. Everyone has one. So
Mm-hmm.
it just, it is what it is. I'll see. I'm curious to see what's going on with um, you know, Myrtle Grove Park and on Monday. And any comments regarding Formula One because I've not heard anyone, but they usually don't say anything unless we say something. And so when it gets to city council meeting, and this is just purely my opinion, I never hear anyone say anything like, hey, the residents that said X, Y, and Z. They just usually say, oh, well, there were no incidents. And that's it. There's no,
Mm-hmm.
this is what took place here, or these are the things that are happening here, or we heard this with the residents, so we have to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Because again, you had I forgot who the resident was, but I remember that lady that was at the city council meeting who said that, there was a lot of noise during Taylor Swift concert, right? And the city will say, oh, well, we had no incidents. But she had a problem. She had an issue because they were what? She lives over there by Snake Creek Canal, where what? There's parking going on. And that parking goes all the way to 47th Avenue, for those who don't know. It goes way over there from 27 to 47. So you can imagine the amount of people that are walking behind her home at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And she's like, wait, what's all this noise? That is what I'm talking about when I say you can say something in regards to not just Formula One, but just in any event. If we continue to bring things up, and please don't let them tell you that you're complaining. You're not complaining. You're a resident of the
Concerns.
city. You're a resident of the city who has a concern
Mm-hmm.
about a situation in the city. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
complaint. It's not a complaint. So correct them. Because when they say, "Oh, all you guys do is complain. All you do guys do is complain." You're not complaining if there's an issue that's happening in front of your house or behind your house or on the side of your house or for you, Miss Carla, with your where your grandkids live. That's an issue. That becomes a concern for you because you have grandkids there. You don't know what the situation is with the traffic and who's driving and so forth. That is a concern. Yeah, that's not a complaint. So just redirect that conversation real quick because I had to do it to like two people who said, "Oh, you guys just complaining." I'm like, "No, who's complaining?" No, I didn't hear anyone complain. I heard somebody who had a concern about a situation, but that wasn't a complaint because that puts a stigma and a label on you as a resident,
Negative connotation.
and it's not good. And they shouldn't do that. because you can't
Mhm.
ask the residents to tell you what's going on in the community. Then when the residents tell you what's going on in the community, then you turn around and say, well, the residents are complaining about what's going on in the community. You see the foolishness there? That's what I'm talking about.
Yep,
That's
yep.
the situation. So, ladies, I don't know what to tell you. I guess I'm gonna have to do a day where I'll figure out, like, I'll just do a run in run in and run out situation. I can't get in either. Yeah, I don't know why you guys can't get in. Be mindful. You can request the minutes. I'll bring this up so other people can see because I have to go. Be mindful. You can request the minutes from the meetings, and the public comment emails are attached. Okay,
Mhm.
so and then let all of our correspondence go to. Let's bring this one up. Mario to be on record in addition to sending it to each council member also. Okay,
Mhm.
send mine to Mario and have him to send it to each council member. Again, I get all email comments when I request the city council meeting. Okay, and lastly, we have every resident of Rolling Oaks needs to be aware of 12.2. Let's walk through the community to share the news about this issue. Do you guys have like flyers? Anyone who's in the Rolling Oaks area, is there is there flyers that are being handed out to residents? Not even just Rolling Oaks. You have people in Crestview and what's over there? Norland, who's over there? Scott Lake is over there because everybody that's a fairly big park. So hopefully people are letting others know about it, not just folks in Rolling Oaks, and say, hey, you guys can speak up about this situation. And by the way, since we're on here, I don't know, but I learned this on Tuesday, so I'm just throwing it out there for those who didn't know or don't know. The $3 that I heard that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Carla. $3 will start to be what do you call it? At Rolling Oaks, they're gonna start charging $3 for entrance per car on the, I think, the 17th.
Oh
I
wow.
heard they're charging. They already charging. That's what I
Oh,
heard.
they are. Oh, they've already started. Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know.
oh, I'm late then. Okay. Well, for those who didn't know, now they're charging for you to park. To use the park. Well, park in the park.
I think
They're
it
charging
is.
$3. So that was
Hello.
hello. Yeah. So that was brought up at the Table Talk Tuesday with
Is it
Councilman.
Monday to Friday? Excuse me, because I didn't see anybody in that booth today. I went over there today to the garden gathering. Does
Oh,
anybody know? Because there's
Event
no one was
supervisor.
in that booth.
Stop.
oh, I don't know.
I
I
just
don't know.
just thinking, out loud.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Yeah.
I think they said, I think it's probably going to be after maybe what's the thing coming up, karaoke, and
Oh,
maybe they
okay.
maybe they're doing a test run now. I'm not sure, but I'm just giving you a heads up because I didn't know this. So I'm letting you guys know that, hey, this is what they're planning on doing. If they've already started, then there you go. It's $3.
Mm.
And another thing, they're saying they're charging because they want people to like walk to the park. But if they're having an event at night, you got to leave. You may leave your house during the daytime when it's light, but by the time the event is over, it's nighttime. And you got to walk home in the dark.
Yeah, that didn't even make any sense.
What?
When I heard that, I was like, "What? What? What? That made no sense to me." I was like, What do you mean walk to the park? How you forcing people to, or excuse me, um, uh,
Walk.
yeah, yeah, want people to walk to the park? But if you don't live near the park, why? If I live near the park, why would I drive to the park? That's number one.
Anyway,
Doesn't. Yeah, I'm right there. Why would I even drive there? I just walk to the park anyway.
Because
That's
I
number
live
one.
over here by in Scott, a block from Scott Park, on 179 Terrace. And, if I don't mind walking to the park, but like you say, gotta pass that, go across, one that street, then come back home and the dog across 183rd Street could be dangerous.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that I said when they brought it up. I'm like, okay, well, this is a perfect time to tell residents about the trolley. There's a trolley that passes by there. If you have these events that are happening over at the park,
Yeah.
i.e. karaoke, and you want folks to not park over there, and you want them to utilize a different way of getting there, there's a trolley that passes right by there. You may want to let people know that it's available. I'm just saying. Okay,
They
for
need to
people.
take me in a cart. I can't walk that park. That's too big. I
Yeah,
walked. I was stuck on 17th the first time I came. I mean, most about everybody know my story about that. Because the access the right guy didn't speak English. He let me off there, and I realized the gate was locked, and I had to walk all the way around
yeah.
183rd in the sun and come to 14th. So I that's not gonna happen for me. I know that.
Says
I'll never go to any of the things back there because I can't unless they make arrangements to drop you off in a golf cart or something. You
mm.
know, that's too far. That's too much for
So
some
Miss Wright
people.
says when you drive in, you have to pay $3. They want to encourage you to walk in, but because of the walking trail, only if you drive in.
Oh,
That's still crazy.
that's how that is.
Let's say you want to collect $3 and you're going to use it for, you know, juice or something.
Park issues.
If I go to the park, I don't want to walk. Yeah, I don't want to use the walking trail. I just want to go play tennis. Like what? That's crazy. That's just say you want to
Yeah,
use it for something
yeah.
else.
I
You
go
know,
to the
whether you,
garden there. I like the garden.
yeah,
That's
if you're
what
yeah, if
I'm
you're
gonna
good,
do.
yeah, the garden's right up in the front, right?
It's right
Literally right
there.
by the street. So if
Yeah.
you're a resident, it should be free. Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. And even if you have like say with I know with Miramar when they have events, say for instance karaoke with Miramar when they have events at their large regional park out there, they will charge $10 for the and that park is massive. It's I mean it's four times the size of Rolling Oaks for sure, but they charge
Mm,
$10. I can understand it. Okay, you got to pay for lights and this and da 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 da. Da. Fine,
right.
just say that. Just say that's what you're charging people for. It is what it is. And do it when you have
Exactly.
those events called, karaoke. You have those events. But you have very little parking in that park, which boggles
That's
the
the
mind.
other thing. It's not a big parking lot there.
Yeah. So that's one of those things. But um I think if you ladies have anything else you wanna discuss or thoughts on your minds or anything? If not,
I'm good.
we're gonna roll on out of here. I
Yeah.
Miss Carla, you got anything or are you good?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much for coming on up. Very much
Thank you.
appreciated. I'm still learning this thing, so as I maneuver it better, um, hopefully I will be able to get the links and the videos and things up so I can do all of that I see other people doing. I'll get there some way somehow. As for everyone who could not get up on the link, I'm not sure what the situation is there, but um, hmm, we'll have to see how you guys were uh how you guys got to the page. Maybe that's the difference. I'm not sure, but
Maybe
if you're
it's
able to do
different
it,
ways.
yeah, I don't know what it
Miss
is.
Pat wrote, if you're a resident, it should be free.
Yeah,
She's right.
yeah, yeah. So I'll try to figure out what happened there. as to why you guys were unable to come on up.
Oh, Christine,
Well,
another thing.
yeah.
When we were playing pickleball at the Butts Park,
Hmm.
the gym, they would charge the non-residents to go into the to play pickle, to go in. So maybe, like you said, just have the residents should be free, and everybody that's not a resident need to pay the $3.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you guys have a lot of like there are like pickleball tournaments and things, right? At Rolling Oaks Park.
Going on there now, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that could
And a
be
lot
it.
of people, a lot of the people are not residents either. So they show your license. If you're like at most parks, you show your license. I guess you show your license, and we
Mhm.
can see if you're a resident or not, and they charge
Yep.
accordingly.
Mm, that could be
Sounds
it.
like a good
Yeah,
idea.
that sounds about right. Well, I'm gonna step on off of this page here. It's been an hour and a half. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize it was that much. Like, thank you
Mhm.
so much. I don't know if I'm gonna do this every Saturday. We'll see. I'm still learning this StreamYard thing, but until then,
Very
I
good.
have
Thanks for giving us the platform.
yeah, I have I like I said, I'm going to be doing something with the North Miami Beach Water as a reminder for folks to sign up if they have not already. If you're a North Miami Beach Water resident, there's $9 million out there that you could possibly get some funds from. Um, from what I read from the documents, that at least $2.5 million of those funds are in an escrow currently, and the other 6.5 million is supposed to be in an escrow this year prior to January, when
Mhm.
you
By the
guys
end of the year.
have, I think January 12th is the last day to fill out 2026, fill out that application for your uh, the $9 million. So I don't know how much you will get out of that because businesses apparently are a part of this as well.
Yep.
So well, try what you may to get it.
Yep.
But the opportunities there if you want to sign up for it, absolutely do so. And I think that's about it, right? So thank you very much, everyone. And
Thank
I'll try to
you.
figure out the other situation with the links with you, with the rest of the ladies. And
Yes.
until then,
And happy Mother's Day to everyone
yes,
who is a
happy Mother's
mother
Day,
or
mothers,
grandmother or
caregiver,
whatever,
yeah, aunt, or whomever is a caregiver in the life of
caregiver.
anyone.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
happy Mother's Day to you two ladies. And have a nice day.
And where,
And
where where are the men on this site? Where are the men? Gotta get them involved.
I don't know if there were any men. I don't think there were any men on here. I
I'm
can
No,
saying,
look.
I don't
where
hear
are they?
no man talk. I don't see no, I didn't hear no man speak to them
No.
Yeah, I don't think there are any. I saw women. No, I don't know. That's okay. It's still
in
oh,
works.
there's one. Keith is there.
Oh,
Oh,
hello.
Keith is there.
Hey,
Hi,
Keith.
Yeah.
Keith.
Keith, come up. Keith, wait. Keith, click the link. I'm gonna put the link here. I know you're a man, but click the
Keith,
link
are you
and
so
just
quiet?
yeah, click the link. Wait, I'm gonna put the link here. Let me see if you can get it. Yeah,
Okay.
I looked at the document and that's what it said. The the document regarding the monies. I was just kind
Mm-hmm.
of going through it and it said that the 2.5 million, it said 2.5 million is supposed to be in an escrow, and then um that from October of last year, and then the other 6.5 million is supposed to be in an escrow this 365 days after that. That's what it said.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, okay. Click Keith, click the link and just okay, there you go.
Hello.
There he is. Hey, Keith.
Hey,
How
Hey,
are you,
everybody.
Keith?
I'm
All
good.
right,
I'm
King.
good.
Tell
I
Um,
DB Happy Mother's Day.
I will. I will. I was just listening, so I'm here though. Okay.
So just give you want. So this is Keith Moore, and you want to give a little heads up on profiles, or what do you want to? You know
I
what we're
just
doing?
can say. I just can say. I work with Christine on profiles in Black Miami, along with our other associate Anne Marie Henry, and we've been for the last 7 years unearthing little known and hidden facts about the contributions that blacks made to Miami from its beginning in 1896, and right now we're even delving into Carl Gables, another area that blacks was very involved in creating and helping being created. That's it.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
I'll put you on the spot. But yeah,
Yeah.
for those who know, that's what we do with Profiles in Black Miami. It's just basically uh talking about local Black history, and that's not taught in school for the most part, if at all. And so we are here preserving and educating the community about local Black history. That's it. And we have some more stuff here. So Alexandra, I'm gonna send you the link for that. I have to go and look on my computer where I have it, but there's a link for that and you can read it, the the information regarding the $9 million and what they do and who's who and what's what, and it just does a breakdown of North Miami Beach and Miami Gardens role in it, and then who are the residents in it, and how, where you stand if you are part of that, if you want to get some of that fund. Again, businesses are included, which means the stadium, the city, the library is a business, Walmart, all of those are North Miami Beach water residents, right? The Publix, all of those are North Miami Beach residents and residents or businesses, and so they can be a part of this as well. So I don't know how much y'all gonna get. Might be $5, might be $50. I don't know. But nonetheless, it's there. So I'll send it to you when I get a moment. I'll look for it and I'll send it to you. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming up. I very much appreciate it. Until then, adios. Bye bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Good night, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to women. Happy Mother's Day,
Same to you.
mother
Same to you.
figures. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Leave.
I don't even know how to get off